Hey YouTube, what's up? It's Jacob back again with another video. I know I haven't made a video in so long, but I figured, you know what? Why not? It's been, I post videos every now and then, but I haven't posted like a car video in so long. And right now I'm in my 04 Camry that I posted a while back about, and I'm gonna be driving, and I actually have a topic to talk about today because many people seem to be asking me how to get a used car without basically getting screwed or anything like that. So basically, I bought this car back in June, I think, of this year, 2016. And it's been my daily driver, and I've driven at least 1,000 miles a month. So it had 102,000 original miles like I shared with you guys in the video, and now it has 108,000 on it. I just got my second oil change on it, and I fixed pretty much everything up. But so enough with my talk about my Camry. So if you guys are looking into the market of buying a used car, let's just say you have like a budget of like, I don't know, $5,000, $6,000. You can easily get a car that's in like the early 2000s, like 2003, 2004, any of those makes and models. You can easily snatch one for pretty cheap nowadays. The first tip I would give you guys is look into the Japanese market. I can guarantee you the Japanese market is probably one of the best to go places to go to when it comes to searching for a car, especially if it's like a Honda or a Toyota. I mean, they're very reliable. They basically run forever as long as you take care of them, and I can guarantee you you'll be happy with owning one. I've been happy with my Camry ever since I got it. So that's one of the things I'd look into, is try to find a car that's at least Japanese. And if you get lucky, as long as you take care of your cars, I think you'll find a pretty good one if you're looking into like the American market or something like that, or even like European or Japan or anything else, Korean cars. But preferably I'd prefer like Hondas, Toyotas, Nissans, maybe the luxury brands if you're going for something a little nicer than any of those brands. But that's what I would say about those. But next tip I'm going to give is look for cars with low miles. And the reason why I say this is because you never know what could be done to that car, even if the car has high miles. Let's say that you look at some really nice Corolla. It's like a 2005 or something like that, and it has over 200,000 miles on it. And you see that it has like over you see that it will have like all this new stuff worked onto it, and it'll say maintained properly, drives great, blah blah blah. You're taking a risk, a big risk, if you're going to be driving a car that has over 200,000 miles on it. And I hate to say it, but you can't be getting cars with that many miles. If anything, I would say the lowest you can probably go to without having to worry about too much maintenance is 120,000 miles at the lowest. I wanted to get a car personally that had like 70 or 60,000 miles on it. That would have been really nice. But those cars can get expensive if they have lower miles on it. So get a car that at least has 100,000 miles on it or lower is my recommendation. Another thing, we're going to get into the title of the vehicle. Never get salvage title cars. I mean, unless you are willing to pay less for that car, you never know what could have been done to that car when it came to that title. Could have been in a flood accident, could have had a massive car wreck, and then could have been recovered. It could have... There's so many things that could go wrong with that car. You just don't want to risk it. It could have more problems than the car does in general. That's why I say I always go for clean title cars. I never go for salvage titles or anything when it comes to buying a used car, because I don't want to take the risk of having to pay even more money than I spent already on my car. I mean, I just fixed up the struts on this thing and changed the fluids and all that, so I don't have to worry about maintenance for a while. And yeah, just try to get a clean title. I can guarantee you spending the extra money will save your life. And another thing is, a lot of insurance companies, from what I've read online, will say that buying a salvage title car is impossible to insure because you don't know if these cars have airbags or not, if they're salvaged. But this is a clean title car, so I'm pretty much safe. It's never been in an accident or anything. Sure, it has a few dings and dents, but they're not like they're not too overwhelming to where I say forget the car, I want to go to another one. So just skip salvage title vehicles. Now for websites, I went on Craigslist, like I said, for this car. Craigslist, yes, is a great website to go on to look at used cars to get ideas for the makes and models that you want. However, there are a few gambles when it comes down to buying on Craigslist. You could run into scammers. You can run into people who will rip you off. And that's another thing I'm going to get into. You could run into people who change the odometer for some odd reason. If they're one of those types that hack cars in that sort of way, you got to take the risk of that kind of thing. And I took the risk. I took a big gamble when buying this car because I had a mechanic inspect mine. You always want to have a mechanic when inspecting this car. Even if it's from a dealership, you still want to have a mechanic look at it. Like, it's always good to have a mechanic on deck and ready to go when buying this car. I remember the day I bought this car, all it needed was struts. Everything else was fine. And then I took it to a few shops later when I got my first and second oil change. First oil change, they did say that it needed struts and all that stuff, but they had also said that it needed like a timing cover or something. And then I went to a dealership to talk to them about it. They didn't say anything about a timing cover. They just said I needed a new water pump and a new tensioner, which I believed them because of the fact that I actually saw like seeping from the vehicle itself. So when it comes down to taking it to a mechanic, you want them to tell you what's wrong with the vehicle. And if you look up those repairs right away and you see how much you're paying for just the vehicle as is, then you're going to start asking questions like, is it actually worth buying the car if you're paying this much and you have to pay even more for maintenance? That's one of the things you got to look out for, is hopefully you don't run into any issues like that or anything. Let me see, is there anything else? Always look at the condition of the car. Always inspect it. It's a do-it-yourself kind of thing. If something doesn't look right to you, point it out. Tell them. Another thing I like to look into when buying a used car is looking at the history of the maintenance. If it's well maintained and I see that everything got changed and I see that there are fresh new tires on the car, I will be interested 100%. But if I see a few faulty things that I don't like about the vehicle, like if it looks like it just came out of a salvage junkyard, or if it was just beaten to where it's like 300,000 miles, then skip it. Go to another car. The thing is, when it comes to used car markets, you got to be impatient all the time. You got to be patient all the time. My bad. I kind of mess up on my speeches sometimes, but anyways, if there's anything else I can say about the car when it comes to buying a used car, always test drive the car. Make sure you don't hear any noises, rattling, anything that sounds concerning. Make sure you don't hear like any squeaking from the brakes. The brakes stop good. The car accelerates without any problems. The steering is good. Test the steering out. Do everything like that when it comes to test driving a car. I can guarantee you, if you do all those things, I will say that you will become better at learning cars. And not only that, but you will actually wonder what a good car is like to drive and what a bad car is like to drive. Before I drove this car, I've driven 2011 Nissan Sentra. I'll give you an example. And I went to Prestige Auto Shop, and there's this one place I went to. It was like at the back of an office building or something like that. They were selling used cars for cheap. And basically, I looked at the car. It looked nice on the inside and the outside. Took it for a little drive. and it was really gutless, underpowered. Steering needed a wheel alignment. I already knew right away, because the steering wheel would kind of like fight with me every now and then. But after I test drove the car, I immediately just skipped it from buying it, because I didn't want to buy it. It wasn't that good of a benefit to me if I just drove one car and assumed it was great and then not have a mechanic look at it so that I don't break down on the road and then have to go through another car again. That's not what I want to do. So, last but not least, like I said, when it comes to buying a car, good luck with negotiation. When it comes to dealerships, they will charge you however you want. Don't take that risk. If they start overcharging you, walk away. Go somewhere else. I bought this from a private owner, and he negotiated me well with this car. So that's one of the things that you guys need to be aware of and pay attention to. Don't get ripped off or do any low blows. Low blows are one of the worst too. You don't want to low blow an advertiser. Say like, oh, I want this for like $1,900 and they're charging you like $2,300 or something. Don't do that. Otherwise, you know, they're not gonna like you. They're thinking that you're not hustling them. I don't know what the word's for, but it's a low blow pretty much in terms of like money and stuff like that. But you don't want to be one of those people to do that. But anyways, guys, good luck with for all you people buying a used car out there. I think it's great if you want to buy another car and you're on a tight budget, or you're looking into buying your first car. I've had plenty of my friends, family members, employees all buy used cars because of the tips that I gave them. And so, like I said, general things to look for is what kind of market you want to think is reliable. That's another thing. For when it comes to cars, if you want something that saves money, get a 4-cylinder. And 4-cylinders are easier to maintain and don't require as much maintenance as V6s do. Like, for example, my Camry requires less money when it comes to maintenance. My motor has a timing chain on it. It doesn't have a belt. So timing chains last way longer, and I don't think it's even recommended for maintenance until you hit like the late 200,000s or so. So my recommendation is try to go for a 4-cylinder if you're getting a used car that's your first purchase, because I can guarantee you will get a lot of a better deal, and you'll probably save even more money than buying a V6. V6 cars are great in the used car market, but they don't last that long sometimes. But it depends on the make and the model. And that's pretty much all I can say, honestly. You know, I'm happy with my second car, my used one in particular, and I'm hoping to make more videos, more tip videos. You guys have anything that you want me to talk about, I will be happy to talk about with you. My setups are a lot better than they used to be. I have an iPhone 6s Plus now, so I literally get a full view of myself and like the passengers around me and the back window, all that good stuff. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna get going here. Like I said, I'll try to post more videos every now and then, but I've just been super busy with everything. But if you guys want any requests, let me know. I'm always here to talk. So I'm gonna get off the line here. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace and have a good day.